Hello, everyone. Good evening. Can all of you hear me clearly? Okay, great. Before I get started, I'm going to request all of you to go into settings and put in your name. There are about seven of you whose names I cannot see at all. You'll need to go into settings and put in your name. Once you've done that, we'll get started. In the meantime, I'll read out the names of the people that I can see. If I don't call out your name, please go into settings and put in your name. So I can see Abhishek Garg, Alfin, Ashwini, Dwayne, I think. Fedora, Francis Evans, Jyoti, Prachi Sareen, Pramila, Priyanka, Puneet, Sambit again, Shreya Kushal Shah, and Shweta Tripathi. If I have not called out your name, please go into settings. Okay, everyone who has put in their name already, could you help the people who don't know how to put in their name? And good evening again. If you click on, if you go up to the attendees in GoToMeeting, you should be able to see your settings. Right click and you should be able to see settings, or you should be able to put in your details there. There are still three people whose names I cannot see. Yes, Geetika, I can see your name. Thank you. And Chandana also, I can see your name now. There are three more people whose names are not visible. I'm going to message them. Two people now. One more person has managed to finish their. Who am I welcoming in? Yalaling. Did I pronounce that right? Yalaling S. Geetika, could you help this last person who's not able to put in their name? I know you just did it because your name is appearing now. Can you tell us how you did that? Sagar, thank you. So, Sagar, please follow Geetika's instructions. Thank you, Geetika. Geetika says on the top of the chat icon, there is a person icon. Click on that and add your name. Can you please do that? There's one more person whose name is not visible. We'll just wait until Sagar's name gets added and then we'll get started. Thank you. Sagar, have you been able to locate it, like Geetika said? Thank you, Yalaling. That's a very unusual name. I just hope I'm pronouncing it right. Okay, so let's get started. There are then, I think, around 25 people in the room. A couple of you, your names are showing multiple times. That's just a little GoToMeeting error. So let me start by welcoming all of you to email marketing. My name is Ramya Pandian. How many of you is this your first session for Digital Vidya? Welcome in, Geetika. Anyone else? Fedora, Francis, Abhishek. I'm guessing that's Sagar, the last person who said mine. Sambhavi. Okay. So Sagar, can you please see? Yalaling has also given you instructions. Try it again because this makes it really difficult if we can't see you. Okay, so welcome, especially everyone who's here for the first time. All the others are somewhat familiar with how this works, but every instructor. Okay, so that's rule number one. Somebody has unmuted themselves. I'm going to request all of you to keep yourselves on mute because let's remember that this is happening on the internet. We are all in different locations and voice files are very heavy. So if anyone unmutes themselves, then this connection could become destabilized, which means then we'll lose the class. We'll all get disconnected. So my request is please do not unmute yourselves. You can listen to me, you can hear me, and any questions, any comments that you have, you can post them in the chat window. Can we agree on that, please? Let's maintain some basic discipline in the class, otherwise, we'll keep getting disconnected, and that will be a waste of time for you. Okay, so today's session is a special session, which is an orientation. It will go on till 9:30. Please plan to be there for the entire duration of the webinar. If you leave early, you may miss out on some things, and I will not be able to cover it again for you. Okay, all right, great. So let me start by introducing myself. My name is Ramya Pandian. I have been a digital Vidya trainer for more than a year, almost a year and a half now. So I've conducted more than 150 webinars in this time. This is okay. Before I get into that, this is me. That's my picture in the top left corner. I'm an MBA. I've been working for over 16 years. In the past, I've worked for companies like Deloitte Touche Tomatsu and the Nielsen Basis company in Mumbai. That's market research and management consulting. I've also been an independent writer and I've contributed to Femina and Marie Claire in publications like that. I have been a blogger since 2004, which makes me one of India's first bloggers. And that's what has allowed me to get into the digital space, observe it very closely through its very inception and growth, especially in India. Since 2009, I've been on my own. I set up the content team for an agency called Social Wavelength, which is a JW Thompson company today. It's one of India's biggest social media agencies. I've also contributed over 50 articles to Yahoo. I've consulted for digital startups like Price Baba, and I've been on a retainer for Asian Paint's internal team for over 2 years, writing content for their internal blogs. And I see Priyanka here is from Asian Paints. So, hi Priyanka, if you've ever seen the LMS blog, then a lot of the early content on that was written by me. So great! It's always great to talk to someone that I've done some work with in the past. I don't think we've ever interacted, but it's really nice for anyone who creates content to meet someone who has seen their content. So my professional and personal interests are both in the digital space. What I do with Digital Vidya and with all my other clients is try and help people understand how they can use digital technology for their business objectives in various ways. So that's me. And before we go ahead, I'd like to know a little bit about each of you. Today's session is an orientation, so the more I know about you, the better it'll be for me to bring up things that will resonate with you and that will help you understand this module better. So while I take you through the program, maybe all of you, each of you, in a single line can tell me. I can see your names. So maybe you can tell me what you're currently doing, which company, designation, team, etc. Any past experience with digital marketing, and what courses you've already completed with DV. And if possible, it'll be great if you can do this in a single message. Otherwise, it's a little confusing. 28 people shuttling back and forth. Okay, so Geetika is with IBM in marketing, works on digital events and do bits of digital marketing. Okay, so we already have someone who understands some parts of digital. The others also, please share your backgrounds as well while I move on to the next slide and tell you what today's session is going to be about. Francis is a student pursuing MBA in marketing. It'll be great if you can also tell me where you are on the planet. Puneet is an MBA and works with L'Oreal, currently with Godrej Group. Francis is a student in Bangalore. Geetika is also in Bangalore. Shreya Shah is a 5 year senior lecturer and currently web designer. Okay, that's two parallel professions. Deepak is totally new to digital marketing, want to earn from home. Priyanka worked with Asian Paints as area manager, Hyderabad. Worked on digital social media strategy at ITC. Currently an ad agency. Done MBA from Simbi. That's Pune. Uh, this is Sagar. I hope new going to pursue MBA in marketing. Dwayne is a marketing manager for RBS India. Do a little bit of digital marketing and is in Kerala. Okay, that's great. So today I'm going to be today's session is primarily about setting expectations for you about this course, what you can hope to expect from this, and if you have any specific requirements, a sheet has already been circulated with you. I hope your coordinators have shared that with you, so you have had a chance to fill that in. If you haven't, please after finishing the session, do fill it in because it will help the entire team bring you a module that suits your needs best. I'll start with laying out the rules and requirements of the webinar series as I take them, and then we'll lay out all the resources available to you. We'll go through the lesson plan, and then we'll bust a few email marketing myths. Ashwini has 8 years of experience in sales and marketing with uh, Tata AIG Life Insurance as branch manager in Raipur and now in Pune. Jyoti is a radio music programmer, presenter from Dubai, and also a blogger on a sabbatical. I know what that's like, Jyoti. Music is content, right? And I've been on a sabbatical twice, incidentally. A sabbatical which turned into a career. So, Sambhavi works for an e commerce company, Fab on Go. Current designation is social media marketing executive. Fedora is a freelancer with Image Consulting Business Institute, process of starting an exhibition center, working as administration and social media marketing for ICBI. Welcome in. Abhishek Garg works for SFX Entertainment as General Manager Artist Management, world's largest festival curators. We're using M Design in communication design from Parsons, New York. That's very impressive. So, Abhishek, it's morning where you are. Huh? You're in New York right now. Sambhavi, I've already introduced you, and Fedora also. Prachi Sareen is an MBA marketing. Last designation was manager business development in Gurgaon, presently on a career break. Sambit works with eventside.com, startup based in Bangalore, senior marketing execs, taking care of entire marketing and branding for Mumbai. Chandana is a marketing executive in real estate, Shobha Limited, currently on a break, living in Bangalore. Abhishek is in India right now on holidays. So, wow, we've got a wide spread of people in e commerce, real estate, events. Quite a few of you are in marketing already. Some of you are have some experience with digital marketing. Some of you are completely new to it. Some of you have just started your MBA programs. So, a big welcome to everyone. Everything that you hear today, you may have heard many of those things earlier in Pradeep or Kapil's orientation. But stay with me. Today's session is really important so that we can all be on the same page when we get started with the hardcore lessons. And if you think that you're not really learning anything new today, wait till tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a really brain challenging session. But before that, I'm going to go easy on you today because I want all of you to come back tomorrow and stay with the session. Okay, no, I'm kidding. Everything I'm telling you today is going to be absolutely essential and tomorrow's as well. Yes, absolutely. A lot of people from Bangalore. It's my second favorite city in the world, incidentally. My first favorite being Mumbai, of course. I'm a thorough Mumbaiker. I love my city. So let's quickly run through how we do this. So before we start, actually, I'll mention this as we go along. Here's the program methodology. Let me start by telling you about the people that you need to know that will help you run this program well. The first Most important person for you to keep in mind is your coordinator. Does everybody know who their coordinator is and how to get in touch with them? Is there anyone here who does not know their coordinator? Okay, everyone knows their coordinator. Your coordinator is the person who will send you the details for each webinar. They will also be available if you have any queries or questions, any issues that you have, like you're not able to log into the LMS, you don't have certain resources, you missed a session, you want to know if you can attend a different one, you want a different trainer, any one of those, the coordinator will be able to help you. Each of you has a coordinator assigned just for you. So your coordinator is your digital vidya contact, and they'll be very happy to answer any questions you have. So please make sure you get to know your coordinator and communicate your needs to them, because that's when digital vidya can really make this program come alive for you. We are very aware that this is happening online, but we don't want to lose that personal touch. We want to make sure that you feel like you're getting your money's worth and your time's worth for this. So please allow our coordinators to help you do that. Okay, so let our coordinators know if there's anything at all you want, including if you find that this program is not working for you with me, for instance. Every one of our CDMM modules are taken by multiple trainers, and I can assure you, all my colleagues are very qualified and they're all really good people. We all just have slightly different ways. So, if for some reason you find you're not very happy with the way my course is going, you can always request a different trainer. You can speak to your coordinator about it. Okay, so there's no reason to feel like you're stuck only with me. I'm going to try my best to ensure that you find it interesting and relevant. But something is not working, it could even be the schedule. You can speak to your coordinator and they will arrange a different one for you. The next group of people that you really need to know is the tech support team. The tech support team are the people who make sure that the webinars are scheduled. And if you have any kind of technical issues, such as you can't hear me or you can't see the screen, you're getting disrupted, there is a lag, the tech support team will take care of it for you. Please note, I am not an engineer and I have no access to any controls from here. So I will not be able to do anything if any of those technical issues rise. And those technical issues are likely to come up because this is on the internet, and the internet does tend to fluctuate. Like I mentioned, I'm sitting in Mumbai, India. So the internet does tend to drop every now and then. It could also be happening at your end. So, a few things you can do to ensure that those are minimized is, firstly, shut all the programs that you have running other than GoToMeeting, and maybe keep your web browser open, because I will be asking you to look at some links. Only keep your web browser open with no screen loaded on it, and keep your GoToMeeting window open. Okay, you can, if you want to, you can take 10 seconds now and shut all your other programs, because every program that you're running is slowing down your system, and if you're running them on the internet, then it slows down your internet connection as well. In addition to this, if you can log in using a computer rather than a tablet or a mobile phone, it'll be great, because it's a lot easier to type in your questions on a computer. Also, you can see the words on the screen a lot better on a computer. So, if you haven't done that this time, that's fine. But tomorrow's session onwards, please try and do that. Try and make sure you're logging in on a strong connection, because GoToMeeting takes up a lot of bandwidth, and it will be, of course, best if you're doing this in a quiet place where you can listen to my voice clearly, uh, rather than being in a crowded place where you're traveling or something like that. Okay, keep in mind that this is a live session, which means that you can't just stop and rewind. But the good news is that this is being recorded, so, and you will get access to the recordings. So if you miss something, you can always go back and listen to it afterwards. Okay, the last person that you need to know is actually the least important person on the Digital Vidya team, and that is me. I'm responsible for delivering your webinars. I will be there from 8 o'clock to 9:30, 8 times during this month. The schedule has already been shared with you. Later today, I'll be taking you through what I'm going to be doing in each of the sessions. I will be happy to listen to your. Yes, I'm aware of that, Abhishek. So, but I'm just making sure everyone knows that it's 8 to 9:30 India time. I will be making sure that you get the maximum of the objective for each session. I will also let you know what the objective of that session is at the start of each session. Okay, so your tech support team is available at this number, Sagar. So if you're not able to hear me clearly, no. So Abhishek, hang on, don't do that. So one request, everyone, let me answer the questions. Let me conduct the webinar because there I've seen all these questions before, and there is a certain way in which these need to be addressed. Okay. So don't relog in yet. Sagar, please call tech support. The tech support number will be on the top right hand corner of my every slide. Every presentation, every slide will have the tech support number on the top right hand corner. I hope you can all see it. Is it clear? Can all of you see the tech support number? Okay, is Abhishek the only one in class? Okay, great, thank you. So if you find your connection is fluctuating, don't panic. Just call tech support and they will help you. Okay, they're a call center, the Digital Vidya call center team, so they will be there to help you on that. Okay, so these are the people. Let's look at resources available to you for email marketing. Every single session is going to be recorded. The recording will be shared with you on email in the next day or two at most. You will receive today's recording sometime tomorrow. Occasionally, if there is a bank holiday in between, there might be a delay of one more day, but usually you will receive your recordings within a day or two. There are notes available for every single lesson. These presentations will not be shared with you because they are copyright, but the notes will be shared with you on the LMS. Okay, and each of these presentations actually include a lot of different things in between. They've been created in such a way that they are easy for you to absorb on the LMS system. So please go through the notes every week after the sessions are over. And finally, there's something called LMS forum discussions. Now, since I'm talking about LMS so much, let's get into what this LMS is. Does everyone here know what the LMS is? Just in case someone doesn't, I'm going to take you into this. The LMS stands for Digital Vidya Learning Management System. Do all of you have your logins? This is what it should look like when you go to digitalvidya.com/learn. If there's anyone who does not know their login, you can speak to your coordinator and they'll make sure that you get your login details. Okay. When you log in, your window should look something like this. You will see all the courses that you have registered for. Specifically, you'll see the email marketing master course, which is this one. If you go into this, you'll see a lot of material. The first thing I want you to look at is pre-reading material. So how many of you have already gone through this pre-reading material here? Let's quickly see who are the forward students in the class. Okay. All right. So quite a few of you already have looked at it, which is excellent. Thank you, people. That's really great. Those of you who haven't, not to worry. Now you know this is there. Please go through it before tomorrow's session. You can click on this and it'll allow you to download it. Okay. So please go through it. And once you've downloaded it, you can mark it as complete. Please take each of these steps and mark them as complete because it will help the Digital Vidya team assess how far you're progressing. Okay, so that's your pre-reading material. Under that, you'll see 4 different lessons. So lesson 1 is this week's sessions. That's email marketing orientation and deliverability. Let's see what happens when you go into it. So right here are the reading notes. You can click on them and get all the notes of this week. And you can download them as well. I'm not going to open it right now because it's really heavy. Let me go back. You'll also see the recordings. In addition to the links being mailed to you, you will also see the recordings here. Your batch is the Tuesday and Thursday batch. So if you click on Tuesday, you will find all the past recordings, which are session 1 for the weekday batch. And you're welcome to go and listen to all the other recordings as well. So here's my last batch, the first session recorded there. As soon as this session is over, it will also get added here. In addition, you'll notice the Saturday and Sunday batches recordings are also there. You're very welcome to also go and listen to them. Every instructor has their own unique ways and little things that they bring to their batches. So please, I would encourage you to go and listen to those as well, because all the other instructors are also really really good, and they will also have useful tips. Go ahead and absorb all the knowledge that you can get from everything that Digital Vidya has to offer. Okay, and once you're done with that, here's something that's really important. You have an assignment for this module, email marketing, and that's over here under lesson 1. Go into it. You'll get your assignment here where you can download it. Read these two documents as well. The second document will tell you how to attempt the assignment, and the third document will give you the template for submission of the assignment. Once you've completed your assignment, you need to upload it over here. Pick it up from your desktop and upload it here. It will get uploaded into the LMS where the Digital Vidya team and you yourself will be able to see it. You will not be able to see other people's assignments, only your own. The team will correct your assignment and leave feedback for you over here. Please note that you will only get your certificate after you complete your assignment. The deadline for this is 1 month. Okay, someone is unmuted. Please, people, please observe that discipline. The minute someone unmutes themselves, it loads the system and we could get disconnected. Okay, please don't unmute yourselves. My suggestion would be that you finish your assignment within 3 weeks. That way, and you start your assignment, download it today itself and start it this week itself. Because that way, when you have any comments or any questions or any doubts about it, you'll be able to come and bring it up to the classes and we can talk through it together. After this month is over, you won't have access to me. So you'll have to do it on your own and work with the coordinator on submitting it. You'll only get your certificate after it's submitted and corrected. So that's your assignment. Now, what do you do if you have any doubts in the middle of the week and you don't know what to do? You're getting stuck there. What you can do is go to the discussion forums over here. The discussion forums have different threads. You can go into the thread called email marketing. I would suggest look for your own doubt. Most of the doubts have already been asked and answered. If you don't find it, you can always leave behind a question of your own and give it a topic and submit it. And this will be answered by someone on the DV team. It could be me, it could be one of the other trainers within 2 or 3 days. Okay, so you will get, that's maximum 2 or 3 days, counting all holidays and everything. Yes, you will get a certificate if you complete all the assignment. You only have one assignment for email marketing, Pramila. So the different CDMM modules have different assignments and different kinds of tests and all. Email marketing has only one assignment. You will need to complete that assignment before you can complete email marketing. Yeah. Okay, so let's go back. I hope all of you have gotten a sense of how you can access your resources on the LMS. Did all of you also look at the document that was sent to you with the sign up form for this session? It contains a list of all your resources. If you haven't already looked at it, it would have come from your coordinator yesterday or today. Please take a look at it and ensure that you have all those resources. If you don't have them, speak to your coordinator. They'll make sure that you get them. Okay? Whether it's access to the LMS, the recordings, the notes, all of those. So that's what you have available. Now let's go through the webinar and how it goes through. There will be 8 webinars. Today is the first of 8 such webinars. 1.5 hours each, 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. on a weekday. Usually they happen on Tuesdays or Thursdays. Occasionally their dates may be changed a bit, but those have been communicated with you already in advance. I believe all of you have already received the dates to all your webinars. They will not be changed except for very extraneous circumstances. Reading and viewing links will be shared with you. Whenever I see an article that I think will be useful to my participants, I usually bring it up during the webinar and I share it. These may not be in your notes because the notes don't get updated that frequently. Like I was watching a video that I thought would be really useful to share in class, and I'll be sharing the link with you later today. We've not had time to put that in the notes yet, but I'll be sharing that with you. So every time I give you a link, I will paste it in the chat window. What you can do is just click on the link and keep it open on your desktop and then you can go through it later. Okay. I'll also bring up any kind of examples that I think would be relevant to you. I'll scatter my sessions with a lot of different examples throughout. A couple of things that we need from you. We absolutely need your feedback. There is a feedback form that will be shared with you for every single session. We require feedback from you on every single session. I will give you the feedback form about 5 minutes before the completion of the session. So you can take your time and take a minute or two and answer the form. We look at the feedback. The digital Vidya team, including the people who are looking at my performance, will also be looking at the feedback to ensure that you're getting the best out of these sessions. Okay. So if there's anything at all that you're missing, you think you should have, please bring it up in the feedback and we'll be very happy to include it in the upcoming sessions. Okay. And this works both ways. So I can only address your needs if you help me address it by sharing what you need. Can we agree on that? It's a two-way process there. Okay. Yes, no, yeah. So please make sure to leave feedback when I give you the link. Okay. One thing that I do is I usually have something called a knowledge check at the end of each of my sessions. Once the session is over, I bring a set of questions just to help the class just think through whatever has been said. It's not a test, it's not being assessed. These are just thinking points. So sometimes they are very small case studies, sometimes they are memory checks. I'll ask you these questions, try and participate in it because it'll help you. You can type in your answers into the chat window. It'll also help me see whether you are understanding what I've said well enough and ensure that there are no gaps in your knowledge. I'll also give you some time for question and answers. So my request is going to be that if you have any questions or doubts, hold it till the end of the session. And I have a very simple reason for this. As you can see, everyone in the class, we all come from different backgrounds. We are all in different places as well. Some of you have come back from a long day at work, and I'm sure everyone here is really hungry. I know what it's like to study and work at the same time. So I know this is a big commitment you're making by signing up for this. I want to make sure that the session ends at the right time for you. So if you have a question, maybe not everyone else has the same question. I would like to finish the session at the time promised for them, but I'm happy to stay back and answer your question after that. Is that fair? Otherwise, if we stop and address each person's question when it happens, you can be assured that we'll all be here at 10:30 and still not have completed. And that's something that none of you want, right? I'm just as hungry as all of you are. So let's do it this way. So please take that take that time to make a note of your question. Okay, that's going to be my sincere request to you. If you ask a question in between, I will not be able to break the flow and address you separately. Okay, don't forget that you are in a class with 28 other people. So what you should do is, I don't want you to forget your question. Make a note of your question. Keep a notebook and pen handy from tomorrow. One thing you can also do, if you think you can't write as fast as I'm speaking, the slide number of every slide is there in the bottom right corner. You can make a note of the slide number, and at the end in the Q&A section you can tell me, please go back to slide number 22. I go back there and you'll be able to remember what your doubt was. Does that make sense? Yeah. I will go as slowly as possible, as humanly possible, so all of you can hear me clearly and also understand. But if someone needs something repeated, I'll do that also, but in the Q&A section. Okay. One thing I do want to assure you is, don't panic if there's something that you're not understanding very clearly. Different people understand different things at different paces. Don't worry at all. Okay, so this doesn't have anything to do with how quickly you usually learn or any of those things. It might just be a matter of my accent is a little different from what you understand. Also, the good news is that digital marketing is not sequential. It's not like learning the alphabet where unless you learn all 26 alphabets, you cannot understand language. It's not like that. So if there's one point you're missing on, don't worry, it doesn't mean what is coming up after that you will not understand it. If there's something in between that's like that, I'll make sure that everyone understands it before I go ahead. That's my promise to you. So if there's something you don't understand, just make a note of it and rest assured I will answer it at the end of it. Okay, So that's our basic rules for the webinar. Now, what is it that is expected of you? This is everything that I'm promising you. There's a bunch of things that's expected of you. Now, here's the thing, I will address all your questions, but I really, really want you to give feedback. Okay. I am very partial to people who give feedback. This doesn't mean I'm partial to people who say nice things about me. That's not true. I'm partial to people who give me feedback and give me suggestions on how I can do this better. Because it's in my interest to deliver this program in a way that helps you. And it's your interest to get the maximum out of this program, right? So if you bring up a question that I don't know about, that'll be great for me. I promise you, I will be honest with you and tell you I don't really know, but I'm going to check on this and answer you next time. Okay? I don't know everything either. I'm not Google and I'm not God. And there's a reason I said Google before God, because I think Google knows everything. So, but if there's something that you bring up that I don't know about, I'll make sure to check on it and bring you the solution the next session. Here's what I expect of you. There is a bunch of self work. Let's not forget that this is a college level program. This is not a kindergarten program. And this is a program on par with programs run by the best universities in the world. And all of those universities expect their students to be adults and do a lot of work on their own. Please think of us at Digital Vidya as your consultants helping you do this. We are facilitating your learning, but the studying has to be done by you. If you don't do that, no amount of time spent by us will help you understand this. You need to read the LMS notes. I cannot stress on this enough. Everything that we are telling you may seem simple when we are telling you, but we do tend to forget this. Okay, so please go back and read the notes maybe over the weekend, because you're doing this on weekdays, and by the time the session gets over, it will be pretty late. Please make sure you read the notes sometime before the next session. Revise the webinar videos. Even if you sat through the entire session and paid close attention, my suggestion would be, before the next week's session, go through both the videos one time. It is a commitment of another 3 hours, but think of it as work that you're doing, studies that you're doing. Okay. So, Neha, you speak to your coordinator, they will help you with the LMS link. So that sometimes happens. It's a good thing you checked. Speak to your coordinator will respond to you about this. And let me know tomorrow if you haven't received a response on that. I'll try and speak to my coordinator also and make sure that they address this. And the third thing, you absolutely need to complete your assignment. Please look at your assignment as soon as today's session is over. It's not something you'll be able to do over 2 days. It's something that's going to take you time. That's the reason we make the assignment available to you on day one itself. You are meant to be doing this over the course of a month, which is the length of this course. So please get started with your assignment. That way, if you get stopped somewhere, you'll be able to bring up the issues to us, and we'll be able to help you address it. That's as far as our rules of the webinars go. Everyone clear so far? Anyone has any doubts, any suggestions, anything you disagree with so far? Neha, I just demonstrated it to you on the LMS. I just showed it to you on the LMS under session 1. Neha, did you come in late? Okay, so here's what. Please don't come in late next time, because it's not fair on the other participants if I have to stop and repeat it for you. And please understand, I don't do this 24/7. I can only speak for a certain number of minutes at a time. So this is for you. Come in on time, please. And if due to some circumstances you're delayed, that's fine. Please go through the video. Everything is available on the videos. Okay. So here's how the lessons are going to go. Tomorrow's session is going to be about something called deliverability, which we consider super important in email marketing. Deliverability is what will answer questions like how you can avoid getting marked as spam, how to make sure your mails are reaching the mailbox, and if they are not reaching the mailbox, why are they not reaching? And finally, how do you get started with email marketing? Once you know how to do this, then you'll be ready for next week, which I promise you is going to be very exciting and a lot of fun. Because next week we are going to talk about content, which are how do you make an email look good? What are some of the things you can do on email, and how can you get your customers to read your emails? Now, this may sound very blah, but I promise you, content creation, designing your email is a lot of fun. All those fancy emails, marketing emails that you've seen, they're not difficult to do at all. Once you go through next week's sessions, you'll be able to create emails like these on your own. And it's so important that we split it over two sessions. So, our fourth session is about something called optimization, where once you know how to create a good email and get it through to the recipient, how do you make sure that that email is fulfilling your business goals? How can you make sure that that email is standing out from all the hundreds of other emails that customers get? And how do you ensure that your email is optimized for mobile? Mobile is the brand new technology in digital, and everyone is trying to be mobile friendly today. So, session 4 is going to address all these questions. With this session, we'll be halfway through the program, and by then, we'll be ready to get into something called MailChimp. MailChimp is the world's most popular email service provider. What's an email service provider? It's a service that allows you to do a lot of really cool things with email. One of the main things it allows you to do is design really, really great emails. So, this session, number 5, is going to be a demonstration of the main features of MailChimp. I will also be showing you what kind of insights you can get about your customers from MailChimp and how you can analyze them in order to improve your strategy. So, we'll talk to you about how to ensure your emails get through, how to design great emails, how to make sure that the email is standing out. And once you're done with that, Bibu, my suggestion would always be to attend it through a computer rather than a mobile, because on a mobile, you're not going to be able to read what I say on the screen, what's there on the screen, and you'll miss out a lot of things. In session 6, we'll talk about email strategy because by then you'll have a good understanding of how the email as a tool works. We look at how to plug that into your entire digital strategy, how to plan your communication path on digital, and also what the major companies like Apple, Dropbox, and a lot of others are doing right on emails. So, I'm going to bring up a lot of case studies in that session. Once we are through with that, we'll be ready to get on to session 4, where we'll bring up something that I'm sure a lot of you are thinking about, which is database. So, what should a database have? How can I create a database? How does database help in email strategy? How do I segment and target my emails? And finally, we'll go on to session 8, which will be our last session, where I'll demonstrate over 22 tools to make your email marketing easier. Making sense? So, this is how we plan to address your email marketing understanding. I'm going to give you a minute to absorb all this. And while you're doing that, you can watch this video. I'm going to share a link to the video rather than broadcast it here because it'll load the session. So please take a minute and go and watch this video. The video is about a minute and a half. And in the meantime, if you have a question about when do we cover this, when do we do that, you can type that into the chat window and I'll answer it. Okay, that's everyone. Great. Thank you. Okay, I think that's everybody. So, oops, sorry. I need to move to the next slide. All right. So, let's think about email marketing. What do we know about email marketing? It's marketing done via emails, right? Before I go any further, I have one request. This is not a rule as much as it's a request. Does everyone here know what jargon is? Is there anyone who doesn't know what jargon is? The word that I've just typed in into the chat window, Abhishek. So jargon is a very, what shall I say? Okay, let's just Google jargon, shall we? What is the meaning of jargon? So jargon is special words or expressions used by a profession or a group that are difficult for others to understand. If I say blue sky thinking, how many of you understand what I mean by that? How many people here understand what I mean by blue sky thinking? People, let's say yes or no at least. If you don't understand, just say no. Yeah, right? So, blue sky thinking is an example of jargon. It means something to a very small group of people. Exactly, but not everyone understands it. So, jargon is against good communication. And let's remember that email is about communication. Marketing is also about communication. And teaching and learning are about communication. So if somebody uses jargon, not everyone will understand it. I may be one of those people. I may not understand that. If I use jargon, a lot of you will not understand it, right? So can we agree to keep jargon out of the class? Let's throw this guy called jargon right out of the class. An easy way to think about it, I find, is think of me as a not very smart 10-year-old. And when I ask you a question, answer as if you were explaining to a 10-year-old who's not very smart. Make sense? Because if you can explain an idea to a 10-year-old who's not very smart, then you will know how to communicate well. Let's get into that practice. This is something that will only help you when you're designing emails. So, any kind of jargon, if you say customer engagement, that is also jargon. Can you see why? Not everyone understands what customer engagement is. A 10-year-old would not understand what customer engagement is. But if you said, I want to make sure that the people who buy from me like me very much and they keep coming back and buying from me only, that's something a 10-year-old would understand, right? And that makes it clear to everyone. So let's agree to use language like that with each other. I will promise you I'll keep my language really simple, and in turn, you keep your language really simple as well. Okay? All right. So now let's get back to what is email marketing. In this de jargonized world, what do we understand as email marketing? Email marketing is marketing via the mode of email. Everyone here understands the medium of email, right? Email is the oldest form of communication on the internet. Of all the digital Vidya sessions you're taking, this is the oldest of all the technologies. Social media is less than 10 years old. Google is a little more than 10 years old. So search as well as SEO, they are both around that old. Email is more than 20 years old. And marketing via email is also just as old as that. Marketers are always the first ones to get in whenever there is a new way to communicate with people. So I think everyone here knows the basics of email. I'm not going to get into the basics of email, but let's try and understand what email marketing is. In today's day and age, given that the internet, anyone on the internet is flooded with messages, this is what most of us look like, right? Between yesterday and today, how many marketing messages did you see? Whether it was on TV or on the radio or when you were going to work, then in terms of hoardings, magazine ads, SMSs, call center calls, email ads, ads on Facebook. Only 5 to 6, Geetika, in the last 24 hours? Really? Lots of it, right? Now, let me ask you, can you remember any three of those messages? I didn't say only email, Geetika. I said across TV, video, everything. Facebook ads, print ads, magazine ads, all of it. Do you remember any three of the companies or three of the messages? You did not step out today. Did you not receive any messages? You didn't check your emails? Did you not go into Facebook? Did you not get any, did you not switch on the radio or the TV? Does anyone remember even one of the messages that you received in the last 24 hours? So Shreya remembers LimeRod and Amazon. What are some of the other companies? Nature's Basket, Domino's, Mintra. In the last 24 hours, Uber, DLF. Okay. I want all of you to notice something. You remember, okay, so Bibu pointed us in one direction. You remember only where you're interested. I would like all of you to start doing a couple of things starting today. You're all marketers, right? So start noticing what other marketers are doing. How many times they are sending messages. And by messages, I don't mean only SMSs, but how many times they are airing an ad. How many times the same ad flashes on websites. What are the methods they are using? And also, which are the ones that stay with you? How many of you, is there anyone here who is not on Gmail? Anybody here? So everyone here has a Gmail account, right? How many of you check your spam folder? Some of you do. How many of you check your promotions folder? Very few of you do, right? Okay, some of you do. If you're doing that, great. If you're not to worry. Starting today, I would like all of you to spend 2 minutes looking at promotions folder and spam folder. Just 2 minutes every day. When you open your mailbox any time of the day, just go in and take a quick look through promotions and take a quick look through spam. These two are you do, Geetika. If you have Gmail, then you have these. You will need to go into your settings and enable these. I won't show you that. You can Google this up on how to do it. Okay? So if you don't have this enabled, then please enable it and look at this every day. They are not irrelevant. Remember, now you are not just a customer, you are a marketer, which means you need to know what's happening in the space. Whatever you're going to do from this class, the chances are highest that your email will land in one of these two folders. That means you need to know what other emails your email is going to be competing with. You need to see what others are doing there. So every day, just spend 2 minutes, look at what kind of companies send emails, how often they send, what kind of emails they send, how many of them land in spam, which ones come to promotions, which ones come to the other folders. It's not an assignment, it's just a practice. This is like B school students are told to read the Financial Times every day. Everyone who's gone through MBA college knows this, right? Financial Times or Economic Times. So it's like that. Go through these because these two will be your best teachers. Yes, absolutely. Remember that this is a professional program, so I cannot give you a set of formulae and then you will be successful immediately after. You need to keep up to date with what's happening. How do marketers stand out from all this? They have to try and stand out from all these things, right? We'll talk about that, Dwayne. We will talk about that. For now, just take my suggestions. When I'm telling you need to do this, you need to do it. You need to first know what's in the promotion folder because you before you can start figuring out how to avoid it. And let me tell you, there isn't a simple shortcut to it. If there was a simple shortcut to it, you would not need a month. We would not be able to tell you, come and learn with us for a month before you can figure out what to do. This is what marketers do: shout louder, Bigger advertisements, more advertisements, promotions, discounts, offers. Now, let me ask you one thing. That 10-year-old, that not very smart 10-year-old is asking you, what do you get paid to do as a marketer? What is your job? Remember, no jargon. What are you getting paid to do? What is your primary objective as a marketer? What is skills? What is it that you're getting paid to do? Very, very big words. Customer, product, all very big words. Sales, right? You need to make money for your company. That's what you're getting paid to do. All of those other things are ways to get to that. You are trying, conversion is a jargon word. Conversion doesn't mean anything to a large group of people. Why do you want to understand their needs, Bibu? Because you're a nice person, you want to seem understanding. What is brand awareness? Brand awareness is jargon. Why do you need the attention of the customer? Because we like attention, so that they buy, right? Is there anyone who thinks that's not why we are doing? What is engagement? Deepak, I literally just said engagement is jargon. People, please try and listen. Listen to what I'm saying. When I say, are we agreed we won't use jargon? Let's not use jargon. It's wasting everyone's time. What are we finally trying to do? Why are we connecting with customers? Because we like connections? Because we want more Facebook friends? Why are we trying to understand them? We want to make more money, right? We want to sell more. Isn't that every marketer's final job? Yeah? Now tell me what is happening when I give a 25% discount, 25% off discount. What is retargeting, Gitika? Okay, guys, I'm going to have to take a pause here. Are we going to insist on jargon? I don't understand what retargeting is. So I'll have to stop and ask you what retargeting is. I'm asking you to think, if you had to explain this to a 10-year-old, what would you be doing? So if you offer a 25% discount, aren't you earning 25% less? If you offer a discount, aren't you earning less? Yeah. If you give a buy one get one free, aren't you earning 50% less? Maybe. But let's say you are priced at 200. So you're going to earn 100 on each one. And now you're offering a one on one free. More people are going to come and buy, but you spent 100 on it and you're earning 100 back. How are you making any kind of profit? How are you making any money? All that is great, footfalls, volumes, but your end goal is to make more money, right? Yes or no? There's a reason I'm putting you through this set of questions. Because we as marketers tend to get trapped in the methods and forget about our end goal. We get lost in the routes that we are taking and we forget about one very, very, very important thing, which is return on investment, which is jargon. So I'm going to give you another word, profitability, which is again jargon. So I'm just going to say, how much money am I making? Is it worth it? We forget to ask ourselves this, and this is something every marketer should ask themselves at every stage. Let me tell you, digital marketing is fantastic for a number of reasons, but it can also be completely a money drain. Most of the technologies are free, but think about the time that you're going to be spending. If you spend 1 month in creating an email, you have wasted money because that's 1 month that you could have spent earning money in other ways. Yes or no? So you need to keep this in mind. While this is some hard facts I'm telling you, don't forget, You are not a discount professional. You are not an advertising professional. You are not a communication professional. You are not a selling professional in the sense of, kind of shouting very loudly. What you are is a marketing professional, which means your job is to make more money at the end of the day. You have to keep an eye on how much you're spending and what your return on that investment is going to be. Do not forget that. When you're creating your campaigns, whatever it is you do, whether it's advertising campaigns or whether it's email campaigns, you need to think about why you're doing this. Marketers, especially on digital, often tend to get lost in that. You cannot be doing something because you want to be the best email marketer and design the best emails. It doesn't matter if you create a really beautiful campaign if it does not deliver on your goals. If it does not deliver on your goals, you have failed as a marketer. Okay? That's fine, but did you understand what I was saying? Let's keep it very simple. If you disagree with what I'm saying, then tell me that. Don't bring in another case and try another. Okay? We are not here to debate. Yeah? So I've already asked you this, which marketing messages you've seen already and which brands these are. Now we know that marketers are struggling to get their message heard, right? And because of that, they're doing all these other things which are working against them in some cases. I'm not denying sometimes that's the only way. But listen to what I just said. That's the only way, which means that is the last resort. Marketing as a job is not about doing things that are the last resort. Marketing is an entire field in itself, which means that there are things that you can do before you get to the last resort. A discount or an offer or a promotion is your last resort. There's a whole bunch of things that you can do before that. What are those things? That's part of what I'm going to be addressing in email marketing. So here's a few stats for you. For every $1 you spend on email marketing, you average $44.25 in return. This is how wonderful digital is. It allows you to track and map it back exactly to the decimal point. Email marketing generates 50% more leads for 33% less investment. Given this, don't you think this is something you can make a decision on? How much time and money to spend on email? How many emails to send? If you have a goal of how much you want to earn, then given these kind of figures, you can then figure out exactly, plan out exactly what kind of campaigns you need to create and how to do them. Right? Are we clear about this? I want all of you to realize that email marketing is a business exercise. It's not a creative exercise. It uses creativity. It's not a technical exercise. It uses creativity and technology, but the end of it, it is a business exercise. And every single business exercise is about, is it fulfilling my specific goal or not? Maybe not necessarily money, but a tangible, measurable goal. So, all the questions that I'm going to be asking you, I'm going to keep asking you, how are you going to measure that? And is it furthering your goal or not? I'm not here to teach you which color looks best with which one. You can learn all that by doing a simple Google search. Let's not forgetting email marketing is about marketing as well as email, right? These are some things that email marketing has been known to be very good at doing. Whether it's awareness building, which means that you're making people aware that you exist, letting people know that these are your products. Acquisition, which means that you're acquiring or gaining more people buying from you. Conversion, that means people who are already interested, you're now taking them further and saying, put the money down and let's sign the deal. Retention, which means people who have bought from you in the past are now coming back to buy from you again. Email marketing has been proven to be very effective for all these things if done rightly. Before we go ahead, I'd like all of you to visit this site. Visit it and you will see what I want you to look at. Come back and tell me when you're done. Can you see the top right hand corner? Look at the numbers there. That's the kind of activity that's happening in this space right now. You'll notice there are more emails getting sent than updates, Google searches. Exactly. Yeah, Dwayne. That's the reaction I was hoping for. Massive. Oh my God, right? And your poor little email is going to have to compete with all of these. Try it later, Ashwini. You have the link. You can try it later. Your email has to compete with all of these. Can we all come back? Everybody, can we come back, please? Yeah? Now, here's a scary stat that I'm going to show you. Okay, before that, are these the kind of emails that you have seen before? Do these look like great marketing emails? So, creating these emails, not difficult at all. Each of these emails can be created in 20 minutes maximum, 20 minutes tops using a tool like MailChimp. And I will be showing you how to do that. But here's the problem. Take a minute and absorb that statistic. Exactly. And this is as of 2015. The 2016 report is not out yet. When that comes out, I'll update this figure. 20% of emails sent do not reach the mailbox. So, what's happening to those emails? These two emails were two emails that did not reach the inbox. What is happening to those emails? You can create these wonderful emails and they don't reach, which means it'll be a total waste, right? Total waste of the people that you hire to design your emails, the database that you invest in, all the internet connectivity, the computer, electricity, all that is wasted because 20% of all those emails that you're seeing passing are never going to reach. What is happening to them and why is that happening? So here's an example of an email that did not go into the inbox. Let's take a look at the email. It says mksaxena1970 at gmail.com sent you $20. Open for details. Sent you $20 to try the all new Empower. Receive your $20. This is a kind of email called a phishing email. Phishing is a phenomenon where the sender is trying to trick the recipient into sharing some kind of sensitive information. All of you have seen emails like these, right? And you know better than to open this. Even then, a lot of people still fall prey to this. See, this email landed in my promotions folder and then I marked it spam. Phishing is an email that's trying to get people to click on it and capture sensitive information. They might be asking you to fill in details like your credit account information, password, or they may clicking on the link may install some kind of password reader on your computer, which means your keystrokes will get tracked. So phishing is a major problem. The other kind of problem is something like this. Why did this email go to spam? This comes from ICICI Lombard, right? And it looks like a very professional email, which has your pictures and your button and the benefits there. Now, notice the sender's email address. This comes from support at efashionguru.com. Do you think ICICI Bank would send an email from an account address like this? They won't, right? They would send it from a ICICI Bank or ICICI Lombard email address. So, this is an example of something called email spoofing, which means that someone is pretending to be someone else and sending emails. So, spoofing is another major problem on the internet. If you were not careful, you might just open this email and go ahead and do whatever it says. This is the reason why banks like ICICI, HDFC, all of them spend a lot of money sending you communication saying we will never ask you to share password. They also call you, they send you SMSs about these because they don't want their credibility getting hurt by this. They don't want their customers getting affected. Now, these are two major problems. There's also spam, which one of you mentioned. Here's something interesting. What is spam? Spam is a jargon word, and spam, one third of spam is advertising messages. How many of you thought it would be okay to take your print ad and put it into email, and that would be email marketing? I'll address that at the end, Bibu, in the Q&A section. How many of you thought it would be okay to take a print ad, push it out on email? And that was email marketing. If nobody thought that, if you didn't think that, just say no. People, participate. Okay. Do you know why that's not okay? Do you know why that's not okay? You're all saying no. Why not? No, I mean your own company's ads, not some other company. Why would you want to send out some other company's ads? Your own company, let's say your company does a print campaign. Can you just take that print ad and push it out through emails? Why not? Why not? Because my slide says no. Oops, sorry. That's not what was intended to come up. It should go out via the company ID. Okay. Anybody else? Through your company ID, maybe. Do you think it's okay to take your print ad and push it out through your company's email address? People, can I hear some answers, please? We can't go ahead until you participate. Why not the print ad? So think about this. Okay? So you have some, yes, but we want to understand why it goes into spam. You're right. All of you are right, of course. Now, here are some things you may not have realized. How many of you thought that you could pick up email addresses from these places and send them marketing emails? Is there anyone who thought this? That's right, Geetika. Did any of you think that this would be okay? Priyanka says yes. Okay. Pramila, if it's no, then why no? Whoever's saying no, please tell me why no. And the others, I'm going to assume your answer is yes then. The people who are saying no, why not? Let's hear some thoughts. Guys, this is not a test, so it's okay. You can bring up your thoughts. I want to make sure we are all clear in our thinking. Okay, we'll get emails of the world and not the audience we wish to reach. That's great. That's absolutely what it is. In addition to that, there's something called permissions. People who have shared their email address here have shared it there with with these mailing lists or archives. They have not given you permission to mail them. Let's say I am talking to my best friend on the phone and I tell her that, no, it's a lot simpler than that, Geetika. Let's say I'm talking to my best friend on the phone and I'm telling her that I've changed my address. And she says, okay, give me your new address. And I start spelling out my address to her. And Alfin walks by and he overhears the address and he shows up at my house. Do you think that would be appropriate? Would that be okay? No, right? Sorry, Alfin, that was just as an example. If you mail these people, it's exactly the same thing. They did not give you permission to mail them. You happen to pick up their email address and you mail them, which means that you are unwanted mail or something called unsolicited mail. And the internet takes unsolicited mails very seriously. So there's a concept in email marketing called opting in, which means that you can only mail people who have opted to receive your communication, people who have agreed to receive your communication. And this is very, very important. You can read more about this here, and I will also be talking about this further. In addition, if you use a bot to pick up email addresses and send out emails, that's also not an ethical email activity. If you randomly send out a bunch of emails to addresses that may or may not exist, that's called a directory harvest attack. That's also not considered ethical. And you can read why over here in both these places. Okay? I've shared links to these two. Has everyone got those links? If you click on the link, you'll learn what it is, Priyanka. Okay? You can read it later. So, in sum, email marketing is not about bombing random addresses with a single email or sending out advertisements or posters. I think all of you agree with that. It's not about bulk mailing or mass mailing. It's not about cold calling. Cold calling is from a time when there were only landline telephones and the telephone department used to give us phone directories. Salespeople used to sit with the phone directory and randomly call phone numbers and say, I'm calling to tell you about our new product. In today's day and age, information is currency, which means people have privacy over their phone numbers and their email addresses. Just getting hold of someone's email address does not mean you can mail them. So, cold calling is not ethical email marketing. Email marketing is something else altogether. I want all of you to do this one thing. Take a look at your promotion. Okay, so let's do this after the session is over and we can talk about this tomorrow. I want all of you to go and look at your promotions folder and pick out any one email that you think is really good and think about why you find it's good. We don't need to do this right now. Can all of you do this between today and tomorrow and bring it to tomorrow's class? Yeah? And we'll talk through that. So here's another concept for you, and this is something called permission marketing. Permission marketing is a philosophy that's being championed by all the modern marketing gurus. It's basically the premise that you don't bombard the whole world with your messages. Instead, try and understand who is already interested in your product and go to them and try and serve them well. So it says losers try to convince people that they're thirsty, winners sell ice water in the desert. That makes more sense, right? Instead of going to everyone and shouting, saying, You're thirsty, you're thirsty, you're thirsty, buy ice from me. Instead, just go to people in the desert who are already thirsty and just say, I have ice. You won't even need to do any hard sell. Permission marketing has been shown to receive much better results than the other kind. Permission marketing on email gets a response rate of 20 to 50%, as opposed to the other kind, which gets only 1 to 5% response. So, permission marketing even makes sense for you. Opting in is part of permission marketing. When you opt in people, that means that you have their permission to mail them. After that, there are lots of other aspects into which permission marketing comes, which includes you understand what is interesting to them and you mail them that. Keep their preferences ahead of what your brand's preferences are. Can we keep permission marketing in mind? Permission marketing perfectly captures what email marketing should and can be. It even gets better results. So, smart marketers are those who use email to establish a conversation rather than a transaction, build loyalty, and nurture engaged readers into prospects. All those things that you were all telling me at the start for marketing, remember? Customer engagement, relationship, loyalty, all of those. Email can help you do that. Let's remember that all of those are long term objectives. You cannot get that with one single email. But the good news is that if you achieve that objective, you will not need to keep bombarding your audiences. They will keep coming back to you. They will be loyal to you. They'll go and champion you to other people. And email is an excellent way to ensure this happens. In short, we need to understand the customer. And when we go into actually understanding, and that's part of why I'm asking you to look at your promotions folder, your spam folder, all of these articles, this is what we find most customers look like. Most of us look like this when we open our promotions folder. And there are three common reasons why we look like this. Too many emails. How many of us agree with that? True, right? I don't know who is sending me this, or it's irrelevant to me. Now, every single one of these can actually be very easily addressed. It can be addressed by not sending any emails at all, right? No, I'm joking. It can be addressed by understanding the customer well. Think about these two problems. These two are actually related. If if the person does not know who is sending them that, then automatically what you say is going to be irrelevant to them. If yesterday someone called Ramya Pandian had contacted you, you would have assumed that what I had to say was irrelevant because you didn't know who I was. But today, because you know who I am, you have not only signed up for this, you've also sat through and listened to 1.5 hours of me talking, right? Because you know who I am. You know I'm the digital Vidya trainer. Similarly, if you know that something is relevant to you, it will not seem like too much. If you're really, really interested in cricket and there is an India Pakistan match, you will not mind messages coming to you every 5 hours or every 2 hours, even. Yes, maybe, but that's relevant to you, right, Bibu? It's relevant because you paid for it. Yes or no? I'm relevant to you because you paid to learn this. That's still relevance. The end goal is relevance. It's not about how the relevance was built. Coming back to too many messages, if you're really interested in fashion, you will not mind receiving updates every single day. But if, let's say, it's something like trucking equipment, how many people are interested in trucking equipment? If you receive even one message once a month, it will still be irrelevant to you. So, all these things are related to each other and they all come from not understanding the customer well. So, permission marketing, trucking, trucks, like trucks and lorries. So, if we understand the customer well, we can understand what is relevant to them, which means they will not find us too frequent, they will not have trust issues, and they will not find us irrelevant, which means they will respond to us well. And if they respond to us well, we can build a relationship with them via email. One last thought before we go ahead, which is database. And before I get into that, I'm going to ask you to leave your feedback. Are we ready to leave feedback? And don't go away. The session is not complete. I'm going to talk about database for a minute and then we'll get into the Q&A and the knowledge check. Take a minute, leave feedback and come and tell me when you're done, please. Thank you. Thank you, everyone who's already done. We'll just quickly wait till everyone finishes and then go ahead. Thank you, Sneha. That's really great to know. That's something that varies from person to person. So it's really good to know if this works. Okay. Is that everyone? So, Sagar, not to worry, the recording will be shared with you. When you go through the recording, you'll catch all of this. Okay, I guess that's everyone. Shall I go ahead? Okay, quickly. Database, right? So, what's database? Database is more than a collection of email addresses. How many of you thought it was a list of email addresses? It's a lot more than that. So, if email marketing is not about mass mailing, database cannot be about just a list of email addresses, right? If it was mass mailing, all you would need is one list of email addresses to which you would bombard one email. Exactly, that's a good way of putting it. I actually like to think of it as a picture of your audience, even before they become your customer. But absolutely, your database is actually your roadmap through this entire thing called email strategy, which is the reason why we are going to be talking about it in the last week, which is week 4, because you need to know how to drive the car before you can get a map to where all you can drive, right? That's how I like to look at it. Your database is what will give you the map of where all you can go and how to go. And we'll be addressing that in a lot of detail in session 7, which is in week 4. Okay? But our first challenge is going to be that scary thing about those 20% of emails that are getting lost. How can we make sure we are not that 20%? Now you know that you're not spoofing and you're not phishing, but there's still a lot of other reasons why emails don't land up in the inbox. And when you go through your promotions and spam folder, you'll see some examples. Why do even these top brands not land in the inbox? So if you can figure out what is happening to them, then you can try and think of ways not to get stopped by those barriers, right? And that's what our tomorrow's session is going to be, which is deliverability. That brings us to the